Welcome to the Lead Her Radio Show, where up is in and women are on the rise. Featuring your host, Kim Boudreaux-Smith, business consultant and strategist, speaker, and international best-selling author. Kim supports women entrepreneurs in becoming top producers in their business. Kim's guests will be sharing business strategies and how to overcome obstacles and achieve true success. And now, here's your host, Kim Boudreaux-Smith.
I love my Aerosmith song. Every time I play that, I love my Aerosmith song. Hey, everybody. Welcome. It's Bold Biz Tips Thursdays here at Lead Her Up is in Women on the Rise. And we are broadcasting live from the Bold radio station. Just want to remind a few of you that are listening, and all of you or more of you that are listening, is Bold Radio Station provides a 5-star turnkey experience for women entrepreneurs who are just desiring to have a radio show but don't want to take on all the to-dos, tasks, and burdens with the show. Myself, my team, we provide such a really nice, worry-free, stress-free experience for you. And it's the best, biggest way to get your voice out there as the expert that you are globally. So that's boldradiostation.com. Let me see what else is going on. As everybody knows, on December 20th, Bold is Beautiful. We launched and became a #1 international best-selling author. In fact, one of the co-authors in the book is my guest this afternoon. I can say this afternoon. It's morning where she's at. I am also in the process of Bold is Beautiful 2. Of course, no, that is not the title, but it's Bold is Beautiful, Breakthrough to Business Strategies, which will be launched on May 2nd. If you're interested in co-authoring a chapter, get in touch with me at www.kimsmith.com. Just go to the contact page and send me shoot me out a message from there, and I promise you I'll get back in touch with you, and you can learn more about the details about that participation and all that good stuff. I think that's all the news I have for myself today, aside from the fact that I really want spring to come, and that's all I'm going to say about the weather. In fact, I'm getting on the next plane out to go visit my guest because she's in a warm environment and I'm up here in a cold environment. Anyways, let's move on because I'm really excited. I cannot wait for all of you to meet Therese Skelly. She's amazing. She was one of the co-authors in Bold is Beautiful. And Therese works with heart-centered entrepreneurs who love what they do and are ready to grow their business in a much easier and more authentic way. She blends her background as a psychotherapist, strategist, and business consultant and masterfully works both the inner game challenges and the outer game tactics. Love that. From newer business owners who want to design a business that serves their life to the already successful entrepreneurs who want to leverage their time and grow their income. Therese works with individuals like you who have a big desire to make a difference in the world. So if you would all please welcome my awesome guest, Therese. Therese, good morning. Hello, Therese. Oh, goodness, did we lose Therese? Oh, Therese, come on back. She was here so loud and clear a minute ago. Oh, hang on. Let's find out what is going on. Oh, Therese, you were so loud and clear. Oh, Therese, check your microphone. Hello, hello, hello. Are you back?
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yes. Now I can hear you. Oh. Hold on, everybody. You know what? I'm getting a read that there's an internet connection problem. So, Therese, I know you're there. Everyone sit tight. I love technology when it works, and I don't when it's not working. So hang on. We are working through this. Oh, Therese. So everybody, Therese is one of my co-authors in Bold is Beautiful, and trust me, we'll move forward with the show because I'm just so excited for all of you to meet her. She does some amazing work, which you're going to get to hear. She was like, oh, there she is. Are you back? Oh,
can you hear me now?
Yeah, now I can. Yeah.
Okay, let me try to get a headset. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
That was weird. I just got a message that says Skype has stopped working.
Well, and I was talking to the listeners as we were waiting for you to come back on. I just flipped over to Skype as well, and it was saying the internet connection, and I went on to say, Therese, oh gosh, I love technology when it works, but boy, oh boy, when it's not, I want to tear my hair out. But we got you back. That's all. That's most important.
Okay. Nice. Can you hear me from this?
Yes.
Are we good?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Fabulous. Okay.
Yeah. So, all right. So, welcome to the show.
Okay. Welcome. Yeah, I'm glad I'm back. Thank you.
Yeah. So, I was just telling the listeners that first of all, I said that you would be back, and I was excited for you to meet them. And I was also sharing with them that you were one of the co-authors in Bold is Beautiful, but you do a lot of really fun, which they're going to hear when you speak, your energy that comes through the radio show. You do a lot of fun work. So let's just begin there. Share with us, what is it that you do with your clients?
Oh, goodness. Okay, so what you have to understand is that I blend, I think you referenced that in the bio, and I'm known as a business coach, but that's just a part of it. Because what I really, really believe, Kim, and I've experienced for so many years, is that it's you have to mess around in the inner game. And I don't mean to mess around. I don't mean to say that lightly, but most people, what they do is they decide they want to build a business, and so they, create goals and plans and grants and all that kind of outer game stuff, and then they try really hard and they can't make it work, and so then they start to give up on themselves, and they get into like fear and doubt, and they lose confidence, and they lose money, and so then they come to me because I used to be a psychotherapist, and I have like 25 years, probably even more than that. I keep aging, so I guess I have more years than that. God dang it. Anywho, I have loads of years of understanding motivation and dynamics and why people get stuck. And so what I really do, like I say I'm a business coach and I say I help you earn money, and yeah, all that happens. But what really happens is that the things that are holding you back get cleared. Because I work a lot with the unconscious, I work with a lot of energy tools. I have a lot of magic that I do. Like this morning, I got off the phone with a woman who's an orthodontist, and so we're growing a business. But along with that, she said, I have visibility issues. I have a really hard time being seen. Oh, and by the way, I haven't been able to find a man. And I'm like, oh, sister, just hang on. Don't worry.
Yeah.
like, don't even worry. And so she called me today. It was so exciting. She goes, oh, guess what? I had a great date. And I'm like, well, yeah. You know what I mean? So for me, I really believe you can't take your life out of your business. So I don't want you to make a bunch of money and be miserable and, have no relationships and be a stressed out, crazy type A. I want you to have a business that you love, make money, and have a life that works really well. So kind of in a nutshell, that's what I do. So I really do like life coaching and energy work and cheerleading and butt kicking and oh yeah, and then you make money too. So
I love that. I love that. Cheerleading, the butt kicking, because as a coach, and consultant and all that, that's what we do. We we butt kick with tender, loving care.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what though? I let's back up here for a second, Therese. You came right in. Let's talk about these emotions, the fear and doubt, because I know it can paralyze and it can cripple people.
Yeah.
I mean, it can deaden people.
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing, there's two parts to that, Kim, because some people know they have fear. Some people, like if I say, you need to raise your rates, or you need to make a call, you need to book yourself a speaking gig, they can go, wait, hold on, that would make me scared, right? So some understand it's like in their consciousness, so they understand. So that's one way. And for those people, I'm like, too bad, go lean in. You know what I mean? Like, that's easier to deal with. The harder part to deal with is when I don't know what's wrong with me, but I just keep repelling my good. Because very often what happens is there's what I call a conflicting intention. So a conflicting intention shows up like this. Let's say you're a woman and you want to create this 6-figure business and you're super excited to do it and you do everything right, but then you notice you somehow are missing opportunities. You don't return calls. You are letting money slip. It's just showing up in lack of results. And when I use muscle testing and I use processes to help us find what's under the surface, because much of this lives in the unconscious. So what I've seen time and time again is on the conscious, there's a belief that says, yes, I want that. But on the unconscious, it says, I'm afraid of having that. Because, like, say, for example, you're a mom, if I get that 6-figure business, oh no, well, maybe I'll then get too busy and then maybe my kids will suffer and maybe my husband will. And then that's what I'm saying is none of that's conscious, but it's like a driver that is putting the brakes on.
Yeah.
And so that's, to me, the trickier work. When people are fearful, they get it. But when they don't, I don't know what's wrong with me, but I just, that's, to me, that's more the mastery, is that level.
Yes, Therese, and I'm sure and I love that example that you gave. Gosh, well, if I do become very successful, am I going to lose my friends? And what are my kids? Are my kids going to disown me and things like that? But on the other end of that spectrum too are the husbands. I mean,
Exactly.
Those husbands have got to go through some things too. They're human. God, my wife's going to be so busy. Who's going to be making dinner? Or she's my wife. And I know in a partnership, a lot of men want their wives to be happy, and a lot of men want their wives, if that's the agreement, to contribute to a household, income budget, if that's the agreement. But the men also go through, the other fears and doubts too. And I want to add something, Therese, because my big thing is, I've been in a lot of workshops, and, fear and that self-doubt, all that comes up. It could be a topic or something. Mm-hmm. And I saw one woman come out in this workshop, and she brought out this little evil little stuffed animal, put it on her shoulder and said, no, that's fear on this side and self-doubt on this side. And I thought, how visual is that? But you know what she did? She took the stuffed animal and threw it on the ground and kicked it and said, that's what you have to do to fear and self-doubt. And you know what? I don't buy that, because fear and self-doubt is a part of our emotions. But these are just my beliefs. We got to have them on our baseball team of emotions, but it's how do we manage them? How are we feeding them? And are they feeding us and controlling us, or are we managing that baseball team that we have got to have?
Yeah, that's a great analogy. You know what I do with Kim, because you're right, you can't just, it's like you can't say, oh, I hurt my hand, so I'll just cut my arm off. You know what I mean? Like you can't take off parts. But what I do is I give it a different job. So thank you, fear. I honor you. And, you're a dog person. We just had a conversation about dogs. So you'll love this. And this is a tip for your listeners, because it's one of my greatest little teaching stories. And it just sort of came to me one day. Because usually what happens when people hit fear, they act as if it's true. They act as if, oh, well, I'm afraid, so I have to go in the other direction. But my story is, if you're a dog owner and you're sitting in the living room and the doorbell rings, what's the dog going to do?
Dog's going to bark.
You're going to bark. Well, as dog owner, you don't run under the covers. You don't run upstairs. You don't you don't run away with the dog. You understand that he's wired to alert you. Mm-hmm. He's just doing his job. But then what you do as dog owner, again, you don't run away from the door. You go lay down.
Yeah.
And so when I teach that to people and say, if you could imagine that fear is that little dog, and I say, do you want him to be like a really cool lab or a fluffy little puppy, or should it be name your dog? But it just gives people a visual, like when they catch themselves in fear, if they see it as a cute little puppy that's just trying to alert them, as opposed to, oh, there's something wrong, run away, then they're like, oh, how awesome, but there's this little part of me trying to alert me because there's something new coming.
Yep.
It's fine. So just that little story really helps people. It's called a reframe. You reframe the meaning of fear. So instead of dancing with it and going, oh no, I'm afraid, so it's a sign that it's wrong, I'm the opposite. I'm like, you should be afraid. If you're not afraid, you're not moving. I want you to be a little afraid, not immobilized, but a little afraid is really good. That means you're pushing past the limits of what you've done before in your comfort zone, and you got to do it, so.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. It's just, every time, and I know the pros of the pros, the Wayne Dyers of the world, and the Jack Canfield. Every time before they walk on a stage, I know a lot of them are doing a quick visual meditation or I am positive affirmation statement, I've heard them say this in interviews. They get those little tiny tweaky butterflies, even though they've been doing that for forever. Yeah. It's a new crowd. It's a new venue. It could be a completely whole new topic that they're going to be speaking on. We get those butterflies. We get a little bit of that fear because that fear is just there to go, all right, you told me you were going to turn right to go to Starbucks and you're turning left. And it doesnn't mean we still can't get to Starbucks going left, but I'm just here to say, do you know what direction you're going in? But Therese, I'm going to borrow your analogy of the dog. I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
And I love I want my fear to be a really cute Labrador Retriever.
I figured. Yeah. You're like, oh, come here. Yeah. And to me, Kim, when I think of the entrepreneurial path, I really consider it's not the doing, because really marketing is not that hard. I don't mean to diminish anything, but it's not hard. It's you get in front of more people, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
What's hard is mastering your psychology. What's hard is doing things when you are afraid to do them. What's hard is raising your rates and selling your services and being that bold man or woman that you previously might not have been, but that's the work. It's you becoming, this is what I say is the work is you becoming the person that deserves to be the leader in the world. It's like we have to transform ourselves from the inside, and then the results will follow. And where people break down is they just want to, I have another, you can tell I teach by stories. So imagine this story. This is what people do. So imagine you have a home with a basement, and there's a huge flood in the middle of it. You walk down, there's 3 feet of water. And so you go upstairs and you call your brother and say, hey, Kevin, I've got all this water in my basement. What should I do? And Kevin says, I think you need to work on your landscaping outside and plant some rose bushes, because if you planted rose bushes, then nobody would even think about the water. And you're kind of like, oh, okay, whatever. So then you call your friend Jana and you say, Jana, I have this water in my basement, I have this flood. And she said, I think feng shui in your living room, and if you get some more earth energy in there and you get some candles, I think it'll be so comfortable. Now, we would say, you're flipping crazy. What? But in business, what people do is just that. Oh, I need more social media. Oh, I need to network more. Oh, I need to, which is all good. But if the problem is on the inside or underground, as I say, and all the good things in the world on the outside, they're not going to attend to what the real issue is, where you really have to do the work. So.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. And I know that's where you come from, because we've had a couple of conversations, is, that heart-centered authenticity. And, I got to say this, Therese, is I'm hearing those words, and I know you've danced in these words, heart-centered authenticity, for a while. Those are now starting to become some pretty intense buzzwords out there. As common as a hachoo, sneeze, I'm hearing a lot of people, I am heart-centered. But you know what, though, Therese, I come from the mentality of, and if you are heart-centered, why do you got to stand up on a stage and speak about it? You should be wearing it in your outfit and putting it out there through your pores of your body, And quite frankly, when we first started the show here, and you were talking about the corporate person who's in their corporate arena and they're miserable, but they're making a lot of money and they've got the title, and you help them transition into becoming happy and making money at it and very joyful and everything. When you were saying that, I was sitting here shaking my head going, oh my God, you just described me at one time in my life when I was in corporate America. I had a powerful career. I was miserable. I felt like I was a caged animal. And then, one thing led to another. I started a business, and that was over 20 years ago. I'm in my second business. But I want to say, though, not everybody is meant to be a business owner, entrepreneur. Not everybody is. We do need people out there in corporate. But if you're miserable, starting on Sunday night, because you got to get in your car and go drive to that brick and mortar on a Monday morning. Change it up. Start with the mindset. Change it up. Maybe you have to step into a different department where you're working. Maybe it's time to leave that corporation and go into another one, or maybe it is time to step into your own business. I don't know, but reach out, hire someone like Therese to help you transition and move into where you're going to be unbelievably happy. Unbelievably joy-filled. I mean, just unbelievably, amazingly happy. And, by the way, making money in it, because we do got to make money to pay for the mortgage and the rent and feed our dogs and kids and everything, So, I want to ask you this. I want to know what makes you so different from all the other coaches and consultants out there.
Yeah, and, that is the question du jour. And I think that's what all the clients have to solve when they come to me, and that's what makes me different is I can make them different. So part of what makes me different is, a lot of business coaches focus on how to grow your business. They really do. That's what you come to business coaching for. And I focused on how to grow yourself and how to grow your life and how to be transformed. Now, not everybody wants that. Shockingly, sadly, it shocks me that not every human wants my transformational magic. But the ones that do, so part of what makes me different, Kim, here's what I've heard. My clients have said, I thought I was coming to you to grow my business, and you saved my life. My clients have said, nobody has gotten me like you get me. My clients have said, oh my God, sometimes I don't like you, but I always know you love me so much. It's like I have this really kind of stepped into my own big-hearted, I'm going to love the hell out of you. And so a lot of business coaches don't do that. And again, not everybody wants to be loved, which is strange to me.
Yes.
Some people are just like, it's a business, it's transactional, just give me some strategies, bye-bye. My clients and the people that I work best with, I love them. I just know that. And that's, at least for me, I want to work with people that love me. That's a super important value for me. I like to be loved. What also is different is I have kind of some crazy superpowers that I truthfully didn't own for a lot of years. I sort of had a chip on my shoulder. I actually apologized for being a therapist, because I used to be a psychotherapist for 25 years. And so I used to think that was a liability because I didn't come from corporate. I knew nothing about business. So I felt like I can't do this because I don't have that. And yet the thing that actually makes me the most effective, because literally you can come to me and in 10 minutes I can find why you're blocked, where you're blocked, move it through and get you in action. So I think there's a speed. I mean, a lot of clients come to me and say, oh my God, I spent $30,000 on, this coach and that coach, and I did this program, and they come to me and they get results that nobody else has been able to get them.
Yep.
Because I understand the unconscious blocks. Another part of my magic is, I love this, is I can teach people how to sell. And that really shocks me from, again, being a therapist and my crazy background. And it comes from the place of, because I couldn't do it for so long and it was so painful. So the people that I work with are people that are the product. They sell themselves and they love what they do and they're really good at it and they have a huge heart to serve. But to ask for money and to say, no, you should pay me $1,000 a month. Oh goodness, I'd rather have 7 root canals, So,
yes, yeah.
So I have this way of showing people how to sell themselves and their services that, I mean, nobody else is talking about what I'm talking about. And I also have a way of finding what I say, your brilliance is in your blind spot. And most people don't really get, they say, what makes me different is, I have 7 years of experience and I'm a licensed, and I'm like, wow. So does everybody else.
Yeah.
You can't use that one. And so I have a way of positioning them and getting them the visibility for really cool things. So that to me is like my canvas, is like, well, how are we going to get you out in the world? What are we going to say about you that's unique and different? So
Yeah, absolutely. And we are all very unique, miraculous individuals. We really are. We all have our uniqueness qualities within ourselves. I just feel that as the human race, we lose sight of that because we start buying into so much negativity that is surrounding us. That so one of the tools I like to have clients do is either start a gratitude log, or start, depending upon what's going on, or I am positive affirmation statements, or write down at the end of the day 3 of your top qualities and how did it enhance your day. And some can only come up with 1, but by the time that they do it for a while, they're like, the pen won't stop. I was like, yeah, imagine that. So, we're very visual and we do need the tools, but bottom line, it's all about pushing up our sleeves and doing the work, So, what I hear, Therese, is of course, I love the fact that, okay, your clients have got to love you. That's one of your values. That's one of your characteristics about you. And everybody that's listening, oh my God, can you not only hear, but can you feel the passion and the energy from Therese coming through, the platform here? And she's very passionate, obviously. And, Therese, again, I'm going to say a lot of comments that I'm making, they're very, they can be very biased and judgmental, but I'll tell you what, I'm telling you, I think we all should be like this. It doesn't mean that you and I don't get tired, because we're human, we do, but not tired because life is dragging us down.
Right.
We're tired because we've, done a unbelievable, passionate day, and, it's time to recharge. But, I feel everybody should be living like this. And
yes. Well, that expression, if you worked and what would you do if you didn't have to work? And I would do the exact same thing I'm doing. Yeah. I mean, it's not work. It's just, to me, I'm sorry, can I call it my work, like my soul's work? This is what I'm to do on the planet, and I found it, and I'm on it, and I finally figured out how to get them. That's funny. I am the poster child for my work, right? I finally figured out how to get out of my own way, clear my own blocks, make money, and so I can show people how to get their great work in the world. Oh my gosh, it's like ministry. It's so juicy to get to do what you're supposed to do. Like, it's fabulous.
Yeah, it is. And I know, a lot of us that have stepped into our heart-centered, our authentic business, if you will, as well as our heart-centered, authentic selves. To me personally, there's really no other way to live. But when we're living in our heart-centered space with our businesses, it isn't work. It isn't work. And that's the other thing. I know we're talking a little bit before the show here is, I'm hearing a lot of these women going, oh my God, this is hard work. Then you're unaligned. You're like that car driving down the street that's going, and it's shaking because it needs a front end alignment. You're unaligned if you're finding that something in your business or in your career, because this can be applied to corporate as well, is if you're finding that this is hard, tough work, you're misaligned, and really step in, turn in, easier said than done. I've been there, and really discover what your soul purpose is supposed to be in this, this human body suit that we wear,
right.
So, all right. This is one of my themes, Therese, for 2014. Okay. Rosy colored glasses, stepping into a business, not having a plan, rosy colored glasses, getting ready to get ready. So share with some of challenges, a challenge, if any challenge that you experienced when you, after 20 plus years being a psychotherapist, and decided to step into your own business. And I know that I don't want to.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so, and I'm happy to share the challenges, because I think that a lot of experts come and they want to look really good and paint the picture. I call it the Photoshop version.
Yeah.
And I'm good about photoshopping a couple of the wrinkles, but I don't ever want to Photoshop the story, because I think when people hear the stories that we've gone through, because I think sometimes, Kim, people look at, the successful businesswomen and they're like, I could never get there. Oh, you must have had it different. And I'm like, oh, honey. No. So I'm really happy always to be real. And you can tell authenticity is real important to me, and say, no, yeah, I really messed up a lot. In fact, one of my jokes, a lot of my peers say, oh, I made 6 figures in 7 months. And I'm like, oh, no, it took me 3 years, 5 years. It took me like I was on the really slow learner path. And I know it's because I had to make those mistakes. I had to mess up, so because those became the platform for me. So what happened is crazy. I I was a therapist. I did life coaching training. And literally one day I saw an ad in a newspaper that said business coaches wanted. And backstory, Kim, I didn't work in corporate. Like I said, I worked in a prison. I worked in a correctional, like in corrections. I worked with drug addicts and there's no part of me that even knew what a spreadsheet was, right? Somebody one time said SWOT analysis, and I'm like, I had nothing, zero business background. I hadn't read a business book. I had never been to a networking meeting. So think about how crazy this is. I see an ad that says business coaches wanted. Now, every part of my brain was going, what? Crazy? Huh? But it's as if my soul knew the path. And so I didn't understand at the time, but really the energy of that ad, because I wasn't understanding energy back then, I don't know what happened to me, but I had a bold moment. I'm like, what the heck? And I applied. Within 24 hours, I'm now a business coach.
Wow.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I gotta really do it, And so luckily, I was working in a great coaching company, and I got amazing training. So, they just exposed me to just awesome training and coaching, and instantly I got coaches and mentors. Because that's what I do. I don't, as I say, I don't like to suck for very long. You know what I mean? I'm going to master what I do. So I mastered the coaching piece of it. I could show you you have a problem here, I could fix the problem. What I couldn't do is enroll any clients. And so we actually, back in that day, I used to have to cold call, which is my personal hell. I used to have to cold call these business owners and say, can I give you a free coaching session? And then we would do the coaching session, and then we were supposed to sell them into a product that was at that time only less than $600 a month. And I couldn't sell it, and couldn't sell it, and couldn't sell it, and couldn't sell it. And so the company is giving me so much sales training. Top sales trainers, hours and hours and hours of role playing and scripts. I had every single thing, and I couldn't figure out, I'm a smart woman. I know if they say A, I go to B. If they say B, I know how to read a bloody script. And nothing was working. And I finally got, oh my gosh, I don't believe in me. I don't believe, because I had this chip on my shoulder about, I just was a therapist. I'm not enough. Who am I? You should have a coach like Kim, who came from corporate, and people that have read business books. This massive chip on my shoulder. It took me years to overcome that. And actually from that, now here's the blessing, from that, I developed my 5-step selling form. Why do you think I teach people how to sell? My whole platform is you have to own your value, because I didn't. And so that, from my losing, I was calculating, I probably have lost $400,000 because of not owning my value, raising my rates, being able to communicate and sell and market myself effectively. I've lost tons of money. And I call that all good. Because I can say, I've been there. I know what that feels like. And I know the way out now. Because today I can sell. Today I do sell really well. And I have a training program to show other people. But I think that, I can talk about biggest challenges. That was the first one. That was a massive challenge. And if you want more, I can go on to another one that's also really apropos to your market as well. So,
yeah. That's interesting, Therese, because the golden kernel nugget that I took out of what you just said is, if we don't value ourselves, then how can we sell?
Exactly.
How can we? SELL is a nasty 4-letter word to a lot of people, and I work specifically with women, and that's one of the things I do too as well. Is I teach women how to sell like a woman, and because in corporate America I was in sales, and so I apply a lot of that. But it doesn't matter if you don't value yourself and value what your product or service is. You're never going to sell it. You're never going to close a deal. You're never. And by the way, SELL is not a nasty 4-letter word. There's other nasty 4-letter words out there we don't need to go into, but it's not a nasty 4-letter word. And quite frankly, especially women, we don't really sell. We serve. We are all about serving. We serve. And I was at this event back in August, and I was I was talking with this woman, and I don't even recall. I know she was on the West Coast. I don't even recall what her business was. I'm going to think maybe a line of clothing, because she said she had her business was in a couple boutiques out on the West Coast. And I said, oh my God, that's awesome. She goes, I hate to sell though. And I looked at her and I said, so then how did you get into these couple of boutiques? So she goes, one I knew and the other one referred me, and I guess I sold, but I hate to sell. I don't want to know. I don't want to be salesy. I don't want to be ballsy. I don't want to be any of that. And I said, so if you have a business, I said, who sells for you? Unless you have a huge, phenomenal budget to hire a sales team, which, by the way, we're the only ones that can sell ourselves the best. You know, it's like, how are you going to manage to get over this big, huge hump? And she goes, I don't know, but I'm not selling. And I'm like, oh, you know, and Therese, I mean, you know, because of the work I do with empowering women and, you know, you with the empowerment of your clients and stuff like that, I shake my head and go, oh my gosh, here we have another woman that does not believe in her worth and herself. We don't have to be salesy or tacky or ballsy, whatever words you want to use for selling. It's just learning to step into yourself and believe in yourself, and then getting together what your process works for you. But learn it. Learn it and get familiar with it. Learn it.
Yeah, I had to reframe, and you said it, Kim. I had to reframe that selling really is serving, and that was my first oh, I'm all about that. And then with my clients, this is where my kick-ass self comes in. I always say it's not about you. It is not about you, because, you know, I mean, I'll give you an example. There was one client that was very different. Like, he worked with people that had UFO, you know, and whether you believe that or not, you know, he worked with weird, like that kind of, he solved that problem for people, right? And he's a psychologist. There's not a lot of people that do that, you know, and so I'm just going to call him John. So I said, John, and he's like, well, I'm afraid to offer, and I'm afraid of what if people like, and I just said, John, there's maybe some man sitting in Texas ready to put a gun to his head because he's so freaked out. You got to get over yourself. Like, it's not about you.
Yeah.
You have to understand that somebody is in need today, and you're their only solution. And shut up, it's not about you. I don't care if you're uncomfortable. That guy's going to put a gun to his head. Like, you know, I know I get a little dramatic, but that's my passionate me. Yeah. And when you think of it, because most of us, it's funny and sad. It's like, oh, I could do it for him. I can't do it for me. Like, I can't sell me, but I can serve him. So that's just a little tip to, if you're a little wonky about, I don't want to sell it, I want to sell it. No. If you can't do that, you can't get them their help. So, you know, that's why I'm so passionate. It's like my most favorite program. I put all my clients in my selling program. I know that. Like, I'm like this crazy selling evangelist, because it didn't used to be. You know, I know how hard that is.
You know something, Therese, and I agree with you, because when we are selling, it isn't about us. And how would that be if you're in an environment and you did not speak up and present yourself? You just did a disservice to the other people in that room. You just never know. Yeah. I mean, it could be one person that says, you know, I can't use your services right now, but man, oh man, I've got somebody else who, I mean, you just, and if you don't speak up and walk away, listen, there's been in the past where I've gotten angry, where I look at the person and I'm like, okay, how many times have we been together and I had no idea you did that? I am mad at you for not sharing that with me.
Exactly. Yeah, I actually love to be sold. I'm one of those weirdos that, you know, if I get a facial and they're not offering me an upsell in a package,
yes. Yep.
I just feel like, hey, you're not taking care of me, you know, but we're so afraid to, you know, I mean, and Kim, truthfully, you have to kind of look at, you know, I do a lot of work. I call myself like a money mindset mentor. I do a lot of work with money. I mean, people's money consciousness, their money beliefs, you know, removing money blocks. And a lot of people, I'm just like, how can you expect to get money when you're not willing to pay money? Because it really is about integrity. And for me, in the beginning, when I was at that coaching company and I could not sell, and I thought, I don't believe that somebody will pay $600 for a coach. So you know what I did? I went out and paid $1,000 a month for a coach.
Yep.
And it broke that for me. Because if I'm sitting there going, wait, I'm asking you to pay $6, but I'm not willing. Well, that's out of alignment for me. And so if you're saying here, I have no money. Well, are you investing? If you're asking your clients to invest, and seriously, I think the universe does not like integrity gaps. If you're saying, I'm going to charge you $500, but oh my God, I would never pay more than $3. Well, hello, you're not going to get it. So think about that as well. It really is like that reciprocal, give receive thing. So if you are not getting clients, are you being a good client? If your money's not coming, are you paying your bills on time? If people aren't paying you, what I mean? So it kind of all goes around.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And you laughed a little bit about the universal not liking, that alignment. The universe delivers what exactly it is that we are asking for and putting out there. And, and that's why I'm seeing, again, I work specifically with women. I see a lot of these women business owners that are dirt broke and they're struggling and want clients. It's like, but how do you expect to get clients to pay for your services when you don't even have your own coach and you're not even willing to make that investment? So, and I'm not about let's break the budget and break the bank or whatever. No, that's not what let's get that real clear. That's not what Therese and I are saying. You have to invest in yourself to grow. You have to invest in your business to grow. And if you are starting a business and you're completely broke and have no money, you better find a way to get yourself a small loan, whatever the case may be, so that you can in turn invest. Because listen, a business card takes money. A website takes money. Getting out there, I don't care if you're going into a networking group, a cup of coffee takes money.
Right. Well, I experienced this because it was my journey, Kim. It's been really hard for me to charge the right rates. And truthfully, I probably my rates are probably the challenge for me is coming from being a therapist, community, mental health, people are poor. It was very hard for me to say, okay, well, as a therapist, I was charging $150 an hour, but as a coach, I'm supposed to charge $300, but it's an hour of my time, and how's that different? I didn't understand when I first started that it's not you're not buying hours, you're buying results. So that was a big learning curve for me. Mm-hmm. So that can just that alone is so for me, again, that took me a long time. And so in the early days, I would be willing to lower my fees, do all this kind of messy blah, and so a few years ago, and this, I never would have experienced this had I not invested in myself. So I was working with a coach who actually was a friend of mine, and because she was a friend and I was having some, struggling back, when the economy went south, I was having a harder time financially. So she gave me a break, and I think I was paying like $500 a month for coaching. And she's a brilliant coach. I have no problem with what she did. I doubled my list. I think I was, almost about hitting six figures. I was doing really well with her back then. But then I went on a retreat, and I just was going to do a retreat with this woman, a different coach. And after the first day, I was like, oh my God, you're exactly what I need. I have to work with you. So remember, I was already paying Coach A $500, and I was going to be finishing with her coaching contract. Coach B, because I had, Coach A, and then I had another mastermind group. To work with Coach B, it would have been $2,000 a month. And at the time, I didn't have any credit cards. I didn't have reserves. And I those moments where you're almost ready to wet yourself. Oh my God, I can't. And it was my biggest, and it wasn't about her. It wasn't like, I need to pay you. It was, I need to invest in me. And and at $500, not that I wasn't a good client, because I really did. I did all the work the coach asked. But there's something that happens when you make such an investment. It's shocking for me, the transformation was so significant. And I wasn't like desperate. I wasn't like scrambling. But for me, like throwing it down and saying, okay, I'm willing to play at this level now. I so believe in myself. I am going to do this. Kim, I sent one email, the first, coach. So I sent an email out and said, hey, I've got some slots open. Within 3 weeks, I had brought in $28,000 of business.
Wow.
And so something shifted. I also got the biggest speaking gig I've ever gotten. It was insane. I think I made more money that first quarter of that year than I made the whole previous year. And I actually went back to Coach A, who was a friend of mine, and said, can I share with you? I love you, and I so appreciate that you gave me a break, but it didn't help me.
Yep.
It didn't allow me to have this experience of finding something in me, because at $500, I'm like, anybody could pay $500, not a big deal. But at 2,000 or 2,500,
Yep.
oh goodness, I had to be really serious. And so I had been robbing myself, and most importantly, I had been robbing my clients of that same expansive opportunity. And so that's something, I think we're so like, I got to give a bargain. I got to make it work. Well, that's where I was. I have to make it work for everybody. And now I'm like, no, I want you to have an experience. And part of that experience is reaching down and finding it in you. So it's not even the coach. You don't make an investment in the coach. You make an investment in yourself.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I don't believe in exchanging services because money is an energetic. And I've had clients say, and it's like, look, I don't care at the end of the day if it's an even wash. We physically have to go through the money exchange because it's an energetic. It is an energetic. And I don't believe in reducing services. Now, if you want to go volunteer or reduce your services for a nonprofit, that's a different story. That's a whole different, arena. But no, I do believe, Therese, when we do stuff like that, we not only are shortchanging ourselves, but boy, like you just said, we are shortchanging our clients and the experience that they can have. And you know what? I've been where you are at, and had the the $500 coach or the $200, $300 a month coach, and then stepping in and really committing the few $1,000s. And I'll tell you what, it makes me sit up nice and tall, and I do have good posture, by the way, but it makes me sit up nice and tall, and it makes me really go, wow, I am now stepping into the next multiple levels of my CEO, of me, of my business, my leadership skills that I'm ramping up. And that's what I'm seeing again with a lot of women. Ladies, I'm not picking on you. Again, I work with women. They're like, I have a credit card and it's really small. Well, okay, the universe is still going to keep delivering small to you because that's what you're putting out there.
Exactly.
You know? So
I know. Yeah.
I know. I don't want to see. I just don't. I want every woman to step into her own personal success and being the top producer that she wants to be. And everybody has a different definition around that. I just want everyone to step into what it is that's going to float their boat and just make them so darn over the top, insanely passionate. And by the way, it does take a lot of courage and boldness. It takes a lot of boldness and courage.
Yeah, when I look at, I literally say that one decision to become a business coach, and what followed from that is those people that I was coaching, they sold me another business, a local networking business. That one decision completely changed the trajectory of my life. Completely. 100. Like every single thing about me is completely different, meaning I am today a woman that I never thought I would be. I can't even, it astounds me that I'm making this much money. I have this much influence. I help this many people. I've been on, the vice president of the board of directors for my church. I've done all kinds of speaking. I've done so much that I never would have done had I not said yes to that one thing.
Yes.
And it's like you just step in. Now, usually, like seriously, and that many years ago, if somebody said, here's where you're going to be, I'd be like, oh, hell no.
I know.
So what happens is it just freaks us out. So we just have to say, okay, what's the next step, the next step, the next step.
Yep.
But the change inside, the boldness. I love that word.
Yeah,
the boldness is
the
just
boldness,
cool.
and it takes courage. It takes courage to
so
be bold,
so.
To be out there. But I was just conversing with someone early this morning. Might have been my husband before he was leaving to go to his appointment. It's. Leadership, we're not born leaders. We're learned. These are skills that we learn. And you heard everybody out there, you heard what Therese just said. If you would have said, if one of us would have said to her, ooh, a couple years ago, many years ago, I've got this crystal ball and this is where you're going to be. And Therese, I can say the same thing just a year ago.
Yeah.
If anyone would have came to me a year ago, January, the beginning of last year, and said, oh, you're going to have A, B, and C, I would have said, yeah, right. Yeah. Sure. It's taking the steps. It's putting yourself out there. And we have to continuously do that as a business owner because it's visibility. And by the way, it's hard work, hard work, hard work. And we do own our own schedules, and we can pick and choose, but it's hard work, hard work, hard work. There's days I bang my head on the desk, and that's when I know I'm Cinderella trying to cram my foot in that glass slipper, and it doesn't fit. Time to walk away and then regroup and come back. And then there's days where it's like, oh my God, it's 6 o'clock in the evening already? Wow, so it's, I can't express enough how hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, and mastering and understanding what your strengths are that you can master, which, Therese, I love the example of, I wouldn't apply business coach. Well, I don't like to be looking and made feeling like I'm dumb and, and I can get in on there and master that. And I didn't know what a spreadsheet was. I never read a business book, anything like that. But, it's know where your strengths lie and delegate or get rid of what drags you down, your weaknesses. If you're not a writer and these blogs are driving you crazy, get rid of it or hire someone for a half hour or hour a week. Make your choice. Make your choice.
Yes.
Make your choice.
I'm like the queen of that. And one of my friends said, it's interesting. Even when you were struggling with money, you always got help. Like it's not negotiable. I always have a housekeeper like that. I mean, I will not eat, but I'll have a housekeeper. I mean, it's like I have a housekeeper. I have a wonderful team of like 4 people. I mean, and that has not part of it though, Kim. I have to say, I'm kind of a tech retard, so I can't. There's things I don't know. And one of the mistakes women make. One of my clients, I was talking to her. She said, "Well, I have to know it so I can." I'm like, No. You don't need to know. You need to know what you want and then communicate that. You don't have to know how to do it. I think women just get all weird about like, oh, I gotta. No, you don't have to understand how to build a website. You just gotta say, make it pretty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then work with a coach to get it working. But so that's so important. And I think sometimes one of the traps women fall in is being everything to everybody and not taking care of themselves and blah, 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 blah. So business will give you an opportunity. Business is like lovely sandpaper. It's just like, really? It kind of rubs it off and rubs it off and rubs it off.
Yeah,
So,
no, I agree. And, and I think also too, once, to add to what you're saying is when I hear women, and we are the caregivers, we birth, we're the ones that wear the multitasks, and we do forget about ourselves. And you just said blah, blah, blah. Okay, enough of this already, of us lacking in the self-care. And, we don't need to know everything, but when I hear clients say, "Oh, but I gotta understand this whole website," that's an obstacle. That's their inner hag holding them back to grow. Let it go. You don't need to know how to run a whole website unless you want to be a website developer. Have at it. Not me. But I like to stay focused on my strengths personally as a business owner, and the other little mundane stuff is I hire out, and I'm with you. I mean, there's been times where, money has been tight. My housekeeper still comes. I don't care if I'm eating ramen noodles. My housekeeper still comes. That's my priority, though. That's my priority. I always make sure the dogs are cared for and things like that. And there's been times where, I've been in those situations. My husband and I together have been in those situations where we had to sit down and, figure out, okay, what goes, what stays. And it's like, I don't care. The housekeeper stays. And you know what? I'm going to put you in the corner and sell you if I have to keep the house.
If we prioritize,
Yeah. But, that's the same thing within our businesses. I know that certain things we do want, but if it's really bogging you down and bugging you, God, flip and get rid of it. Get rid of it or hire someone to do it. There's so many platforms now out there. We can go out there and search for contractors very affordably. So we've got a couple minutes left. Oh my God, Therese, you and I can go on forever.
I know.
We've got a few minutes left here. So please tell everybody how they can get in touch with you. And I think you have a little something to give everybody too.
A little something. Yeah. Well, it's funny is my website is being revamped right now. And I noticed my web designer, I'm like, where's my opt-in box, honey?
Oh, yeah.
So if you go right now, there is no way to sign up for anything. It's happy in business. But what I really, if you've been hearing this conversation, I know a lot of women are probably like going, oh my gosh, that selling thing, what? And I have It's an ebook, and it's called The Conscious Business Owner's Guide to How to Sell Your Services Without Feeling Like You're Selling Your Soul. And that's so good. And so I want to give that because it's an ebook and it's an audio of me, like an hour-long audio talking about guilt-free selling. And it really is this is my genius work. So I would love to give that to you. So you go to happyinbusiness.com / the word ebook HTS, EBOOK how to sell HTS. So that's where I want you to go, and you'll get started, and you'll get access to me and my stuff. So.
And to buy some time here, Therese. If the opt-in box is not up yet, please reach out. I'm sure you have a contact page. Reach out to just reach out and say, hey, Therese, put me on your put me on your mailing list. I want to be involved. I want to know more. Whatever, and take advantage, everybody, of this ebooks. Listen. I am, because we're winding down this hour, and I know Therese's got an appointment. She's got to run, but I want more of Therese and your energy, so you better believe I'm going to watch you on a video.
Sweet. Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, this has been fun. Thank you so much. It's been a wonderful
Oh my gosh, we're going to have to do this again. We're going to have, what? I think you and I should do another show a little bit later on into the year around that nasty 4-letter word, SELL.
I think we should do it. I'd love to, babe.
Yes, I love it. So I knew this hour would fly by fast. Therese, thank you so much for being on here. I know you have to run because you've got a call. I so appreciate your time, appreciate your energy, and I appreciate you participating in Bold is Beautiful as well this past December. Yeah, that was wonderful.
Yeah,
that was
good.
Yeah, so thank you so much for being on the show. It has been a blast, and we'll talk. We're going to stay in touch because I think we need to come back on in the springtime here and do a selling. So go make your call.
Much love.
Yeah, thanks. Hey, everybody, thank you so much for joining Therese and I. Again, you can get in touch with Therese at happyinbusiness.com, and take advantage of her ebook. Oh, my gosh, that's an amazing offer. I know I'm going to take advantage of it. And stay tuned through social media. We'll have Therese back on later on in the spring, and we'll do some golden nuggets on how to sell. It's one of my favorite topics because we all need to know how to do that being in business. So go make it a great day. Thanks for joining me at another Lead Her Up As In Women on the Rise Thursdays, Bold Biz Tips Thursdays. Stay tuned next week. I got Monday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and Thursday noon Eastern Standard Time. We are implementing next Monday and Wednesday midday tips, 5-minute tips to help enhance your day, to maybe help you stop and slow down and do something for yourself. Whatever, you can do whatever you want with those midday tips. So stay tuned. You'll see that out on social media as well. And don't forget, www.boldradiostation.com. Bold is Beautiful book is on Amazon if you have not grabbed your copy. Reach out to me if you have any questions. I have the boldradiostation.com website and kimbsmith.com website. And also there is boldisbeautiful.com as well. You can go on there and meet some of those stunning you can meet all the stunning co-authors. So go on out there, make it a great day. Take away some multitude of golden nuggets here from our Biz Tips Thursdays. Maybe you only got one, maybe you got multiple, but please take them, put them into action. We want you to be the success you so desire. So go have a great day, and thanks.